To all the warriors of the masked masculinity, we're living in an era that seems to be stacked against men. A time where societal shifts and popular culture seem to play down masculinity, and where the ideals of traditional manhood appear to be under constant assault. So, warriors, brace yourselves as we dive deep into understanding why the modern world seems to be working against us, and more importantly, what we can do about it. Reason 1. The rise of belittling men. There's no denying it. We live in an age where it's becoming increasingly common to belittle men. Whether it's on mainstream media or in everyday conversation, men are often portrayed as incompetent, irrelevant, or as nothing more than comic relief. It's an era of sitcom dads, bumbling idiots, and men who cannot handle basic life tasks without a woman's help. This portrayal diminishes the image of men and distorts the reality of what it truly means to be a man. The harmful effects of this trend are far-reaching. On a surface level, it can seem harmless, even comical, but over time these representations chip away at the image of the capable, responsible, and competent man. They can foster damaging perceptions about masculinity, discouraging young boys from aspiring to be strong, confident, and self-reliant men. The belittling of men can also skew societal perceptions about men's abilities, creating a false narrative that undermines the very essence of masculinity. In an era where we are striving for equality and mutual respect, it is crucial to challenge and change these harmful portrayals and reclaim the true image of a man, not as it is misrepresented in society, but as it should be: capable, reliable, and worthy of respect. Reason 2. The constant favoritism of feminine values. This has become especially prevalent with the rise of certain figures in popular culture. Let's consider personalities like Harry Styles or the members of the K-pop sensation BTS. These individuals, while extremely talented, often represent an androgynous or feminized version of masculinity, sporting makeup, long hair, and even women's clothing. While there's nothing inherently wrong with bending societal norms or exploring one's style, the problem arises when this becomes the most celebrated representation of manhood, almost suggesting that traditional masculinity is obsolete or even wrong. It's essential to understand that this does not echo with the innate nature of men. Men and women are fundamentally different in their biological and psychological makeup, each endowed with their unique strengths. However, when the media primarily champions feminized men, it skews the perception of young men about masculinity, causing confusion and leading them to suppress their inherent masculine traits. What's more, it creates a narrative that being in touch with your natural masculinity is something to be shunned, which is not just misleading, but can also be detrimental to the mental health of young men. It's time to reclaim the narrative and celebrate all spectrums of masculinity, from the rugged to the refined, from the traditional to the modern, while ensuring that the fundamental essence of manhood is not lost or belittled in the process. Reason 3. Backlash against men promoting masculinity. We're facing a distressing backlash against men who champion the cause of masculinity. The increasingly prevalent cancel culture doesn't spare those who attempt to guide the younger generation of men, advocating for the embrace of their natural masculine instincts and values. Renowned figures such as psychologist and Professor Jordan Peterson, who ardently advocates for personal responsibility, individualism, and masculine values, have been criticized and labeled as an incel god, or the patron saint of those who cannot find a romantic or sexual partner despite desiring one. This is a dismissive and superficial assessment that distracts from the profound value of his teachings. Similar backlash is faced by influential men like Joe Rogan and Andrew Tate, who seek to inspire men to be more disciplined, self-reliant, and courageous. Meanwhile, celebrities like James Charles and Sam Smith, who embody a more feminized or androgynous representation of manhood, receive copious amounts of promotion and applause. While diversity is important and to be celebrated, it's essential that this doesn't lead to the vilification or erasure of traditional masculinity. The landscape needs to be balanced, And it's time for us to counteract this prevailing bias and celebrate all forms of manhood without unjustly demonizing those who espouse a more traditional perspective. Young men today need all the guidance they can get in navigating their path to manhood, and shutting down voices that promote the acceptance of inherent masculine traits does more harm than good.